recently praised the economy and the financial performance here in Egypt. And the mission said that it detected progress in the achievement of the budget of programs and performance. And in order to shed more light on this very important issue, we're very much delighted to have with us Mr. Hani Abou Al-Futuh, economic expert. Good morning to you, Mr.
Good
Hani.
morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hani. Mr. Hani, to start with, how do you evaluate the recent statement by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, concerning the performance of the Egyptian economy and the financial performance of the state budget?
I think let's first say that the statement is very positive. It has been taken very positively. And for the viewers, let me just explain what is the program and performance budget. Actually, the new budgeting system focuses on the input of resources versus the output of services. And it is commonly used by companies and by governments in order for the taxpayers who provide funds to watch and monitor the services, the output of the services provided by the government. So this new budgeting system actually tackles the deficiencies of the classical budget system, which focuses only on one aspect, which is spending. The new budgeting system focuses more on the effectiveness and efficiency of the output, whether these are services provided or other type of output. I think it's very important, this statement, particularly the IMF said that it took South Africa 15 years to implement this new budgeting system, but I think in Egypt here we have taken some positive and proactive approach. This year, 16 ministries will take a pilot exercise to implement this new budgeting system by completing 25% of the input according to the new system. And by year 2021, 4 ministries will be selected in order to present the budget according to the new system, and eventually it is expected by year 2021 that all ministries will have completed the budgeting exercise according to the new system. It shows accountability, more efficiency on the output, monitoring. So all these things were not there while using the classical budgeting, budgeting system.
Okay, sir, but also the statement mentioned transformation to the programs and performance. Is that what you have just explained, or transformation is something else?
The classical system, the existing system, is itemized according to sections, predefined sections. So it looks only at one angle, which is spending. So in the new system, it looks at the holistic picture of the government, of the government agencies and units, and links the input of resources to the output in order to monitor the efficiency and achieving predefined goals.
Mr. Hani, how would that encourage the international financing institutions to deal with the Egyptian economy?
International financial institutions would look for accountability at the counterparties. So the new budgeting system provides more accountability. So that's exactly what international financial institutions are after. They would like to see that the Egyptian government, the government agencies, which are particularly those which who are being financed or using or availing from the donors' programs, they would like to see that these agencies are using the new system in order to show more accountability and efficiency in running these funds.
Okay. Sir, there have been numerous efforts in order to attract foreign investments to Egypt, and we have seen so many successful attempts in this regard. But do you think that this recent statement by the IMF mission would actually encourage investors to come and invest in Egypt?
Definitely. I would go for that statement, and I see that it is an encouraging statement that would attract investors to have more confidence in the country and in accountability of the government agencies.
Mr. Hani, to what extent the IMF statement could help in giving the mega projects which are taking place in Egypt more credibility, especially to the foreign investors as well?
Mega projects, like any other projects, rely on several aspects of governance and financial control and monitoring and planning. So the budget itself is a planning tool, an advanced planning tool. So the investors, the foreign investors, would like to see that the funds of the counterparties are using these tools for governing the projects and any other kind of spendings, particularly in the mega projects, because this is very critical to the success of any project.
Yes. Sir, when you were explaining to us what the term transformation means, you said that it has a more holistic meaning, which is measuring the effect of the services for the citizen. Do you think that the citizen, the Egyptian citizen, can actually feel this effect now? Because the Egyptian citizens have been going through a lot of hardships due to the recent economic measures taken in Egypt with rising prices and so on. But President Abdel Fattah Sisi has always been calling on the citizens to bear with such hardships, because this will eventually have its effect on everybody. So how do you see this in a more comprehensive way?
The Egyptian citizen, I put myself in the shoes of the Egyptian citizen. I'm one who also bear the hardship, among other things. The outcome of the reform programs has already been evident in many areas, but still the average citizen doesn't feel. It varies. This kind of feeling varies from a particular group according to education background, the sophistication of the financial knowledge. But on average, I think it is not yet felt. I would say that I certainly agree with the President Abdel Fattah Sisi that yes, the citizen needs to understand the objectives of this program. And only then, if he understands the objectives and the processes that are being carried out, eventually they would feel in the short term that this would pay back for the country and for the citizen himself.
Okay.
Mr. Hani, how did the economic reform program help in reducing unemployment and inflation?
Let me take you to some figures. The program, the reform program, mandated that the Central Bank of Egypt should use the monetary policy in order to fix some errors which have been evident in the past. Inflation was soared to 34% before just a few months in July last year. Now, when the central bank used the interest rate tool, the inflation rate now has come down to 13% from 34% in July last year. Similarly, the unemployment rate, it was 12.1% first quarter last year. Now it ranges to 10.6 or something between this range in first quarter this year. So these figures establishes the soundness of the reform program, and certainly we would expect more results, and we would expect that the average citizen would feel that results shortly, inshallah.
Sir, recent reports from the international body Leading Figure showed that Egypt has a chance to become a leading economy like some Asian countries. Now, how important those opinions are, and what are the basis of such assessments?
I just want to speak about the recent study released by Harvard University, Center of International Development, which showed that Egypt economy is the third fastest growing economy in the world after India and Uganda. This study actually establishes that the economic reform, which has been going through since 2 years, are paying its results, and the study also relied on the complexity and the diversity of the Egyptian economy, as well as the output and the results of the economic reforms. So all that is very important for international bodies, for international investors, for international financial institutions, which draw the line that Egypt is improving, and it is the right time, the right place to invest in Egypt.
Yes, indeed. Sir, why is it important to raise the citizens' awareness about the economic reform program?
The citizen should be aware of what's going on. It's not just enough to tell him, bear with us. I think the government, the competent government agencies, should launch a comprehensive awareness program to explain the benefits, the cost and the benefits of the economic program. And I think that the citizen himself should have a role in this. If he or she understands the program and the implication, they would be also expected to join hands with the government in boosting the procedures, the difficult procedures, and have a general understanding of why this is happening and how he is expected to perform and rationalize his expenses as well.
But sir, do you think that such a statement by an international body like the International Monetary Fund would actually have an impact worldwide regarding the status of the Egyptian economy?
Yes, as I mentioned before, it should have a positive impact for the outer world, and it is a strong statement that Egypt now is improving, the economy is boosting, and
not only in means of attracting foreign investments, but also encouraging tourism and so on.
Yes, because the economy is just a direct investment. It's
very diverse.
Very diverse,
complex, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and there are interrelationship between investment, direct investment, tourism, and import and export and other areas as well.
Mr. Hani, of course, we were talking about the investors here. And with all the economic reforms taking place in Egypt and the IMF statements regarding the performance of the Egyptian economy, how do you evaluate the level of investors and investment coming to Egypt?
The direct investment is improving. I don't have the figures, unfortunately, but generally speaking, I see this there's a positive move towards more progress in the investment flow in Egypt, and we see mega projects. We see direct foreign investment. We see the stock exchange. The investors in the stock exchange are coming more vigorously than ever. So all these have come together to give a good picture, a positive picture about the economy now and the improvement.
Well, Mr. Hani Abou El-Fatouh, economic expert, thank you very much for being with us in this edition of The Breakfast Show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, and have a very good day. And now, our dear viewers, a short break, and after that, we'll be back to continue our segments in The Breakfast Show, so stay tuned.
The Book of the Dead is a late and more developed version of the Coffin's texts. Besides, some of its paragraphs came indeed on the coffins, starting from the time of the New Kingdom.